Hi guys, happy Saturday. I promised you all that I would go live at some point to talk to you guys about my morning routine. So if you follow me, or maybe you don't follow me, but if you do, you will see that pretty much every morning on my stories you'll see me doing pretty much the same thing. I'm up at a crazy early hour and you'll see my gratitude journal, and you'll see me working out. You'll see me drinking my superfoods, having my smoothie bowls. You'll see me doing pretty much the same things between the hours of 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I wanted to hop on here and I want to talk to you guys about pretty much just like what I do and why I do it so early. To be honest, when I first started trying to work on myself or really start to make these changes in my life to really find consistency with my health and fitness, especially like with my workouts, I was working full time as a nurse. I had just, moved from the ICU. So working 12 hours, day nights, to working Monday through Friday, 4/10s, kind of all over the place on call. So my schedule was still it was different every single day. And at the time I was struggling because I was trying to do my workout still in the evening, which was causing lots of arguments and fights with my spouse because he was getting home at, 6 o'clock and I was getting home at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and I would be trying to go upstairs if I had the energy still to do my workout, cutting into our dinner time or our time. So I established a morning routine out of literally knowing that I was trying to create a lifestyle and out of just necessity for my sanity. I knew that it wasn't working trying to do it in the evening. I knew that I hated working out in the evening. I hate coming home and having to do anything other than the necessity of making dinner and just relaxing. So I knew that I was already used to getting up early for nursing. If you have animals, children, actually I don't know about children, but I do know about having fur children. I used to have to get up at like 4 a.m. anyway to walk my dog before my 12-hour shift. So I used that for inspiration, and I just decided that I was going to make my workouts happen in the morning. So that is where it sort of started for me, why I started to create a morning routine for myself. And it started out with just doing my workouts, and then I joined this community and I learned about meditation, and I learned about personal development. So another part of my story is the fact that I have for a long time struggled with anxiety and depression. I was not on medication for years. I tried to, handle it, deal with it on my own. And a big thing that helped me was obviously exercise, running in particular. I always was a big runner. So I knew that exercise was obviously one of my biggest outlets, but I was still struggling, especially with body confidence and just, dealing with the stress and anxiety of going to work and dealing with, negative coworkers. So I started doing a daily meditation. I added in meditation and I added in personal development. So I would spend about 10 minutes reading, and then I would use a guided app. I use Headspace for my meditations, and I would do like a 3 to 5 minute meditation, and I still do to this day. So that still is pretty much exactly what I do. It's just that the time in which I do it has varied a little bit as life has changed. Now I'm 3 months into this, being a part of this community. I decided that I wanted to start coaching. So I included in that time in which my morning routine that I would get done whatever I needed to do for my business that day, checking in with my boot camp, sending out invites, and basically if I wanted to get a post out before work, since I can't really have my phone at work, I would make sure I did that, and I would just make sure that I was filling my cup before I went and poured into others all day long. As a nurse, as a spouse, as a coach, that is just something that we necessarily do. No matter what you're doing, if you go to work, if you are a spouse, if you have a loved one, if you have children, if you have animals, if you have family, you are pouring into others all day long, and you don't realize that is energy, like depleting yourself. So you need to pour into yourself every day. And so that is why I am so dead set and consistent with my morning routine. So what I do, and what really helped me in the beginning, was I obviously didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I really wanted to understand why this was so important. So the first thing I did is I read The Miracle Morning. So that was the first book that really opened my eyes to the importance of starting your day with intention, of the importance of moving your body, of filling your mind with positive, affirmations and just positivity, so with personal development and, and how that drastically impacts your day, your life, and everything. So I read that. Another book I read was The 5-Second Rule. Because I still to this day struggle with not hitting snooze. I struggle with that literal action of when my alarm goes off of getting out of bed. Because if I get out of bed, it's okay. But if I snooze, I am way more likely to put myself behind and end up screwing up, my whole morning routine, and something has to give. I usually have to cut something out, which then that all just trickles down the line to how you end up interacting with people and how you treat others. So I read The 5-Second Rule to really hone in on just my ability to act when I needed to. So that alarm goes off, trigger 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't give yourself time to think about it. Just get your feet on the floor, get up, and move. So that was the second book that really helped me. And now what's currently helping me, now that I am a full-time coach and part-time nurse or per diem nurse, I'm in this weird funky phase of my life where I'm still kind of working all over the place. Every week is kind of different. I'm traveling a lot. And so I don't necessarily need to get up as early as I was, but I still, the number one thing that is going to make anything stick is consistency. So what I've been struggling with the last few months is the fact that I was getting up at different times every day. And what helped me last year, and what is helping me again now with the help of this book that I'm going to tell you, is sticking to the same time every day. If I can, no matter what my schedule, if I can stick to this, getting up at the same time every day, 1, I am more productive. 2, I feel freaking so much better. And 3, it keeps me on point. It keeps me consistent because it's repetitive and it's habitual. So last year, I pretty much always got up by 4 a.m. This year, now with this next phase, I'm not working full-time as a nurse. I'm working full-time as a coach, and I'm doing other things on the side. So I am getting up at 5 a.m. So I learned about this book from another coach in the network who shared it on her stories one day from this podcast, from the Mimi B podcast, where she interviewed Robin Sharma, who's the author of this book. It's called The 5 a.m. Club. And it's a really amazing book. It's written in fiction form, so it's sort of like as a story. And it basically goes through these 3 characters of how it transforms them from people who don't have a morning routine into these people that basically own their day, own their life now with the help of this 5 a.m. routine. And in the book, and the author talks about how it's proven that he coaches CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies, successful entrepreneurs, actors, celebrities who he has coached and helped with this 5 a.m., incorporate this 5 a.m. routine. So that is the book that I'm currently reading, and that is the routine that I am currently following. So everything is still pretty much the same. It's just the difference of the sequence in which I do it. So the sequence now that he talks about in the book is a 20-20-20 rule. So the first 20 minutes of your day from 5 a.m. to 5:20, you get up and you move. I used to, get up and I would make my tea, make my Energize, and I would sit down and I would read and meditate and do all these like calming things, and then I would get up and go move. But now he says it's so important to get up and move your body first. Get the blood flowing, get some positive endorphins, really energize yourself. Which I automatically felt a game change, like it was a game changer, like first day. Second part of that is the next 20 minutes is you want to then do those spiritual calming activities, like meditate, do your affirmations, which I have my meditations written I have my affirmations written down, but I actually have been printed out some new affirmations that I'm going to rewrite for myself. So I read them aloud, and it takes me like less than a minute. And a lot of them are just around my goals and my mindset and how I want to feel and what I want to accomplish. So that's what I talk about when I mean my affirmations and intentions. I'm setting my intentions for the day with my affirmations. And then the next 20 minutes is personal development. So this is the time that I typically run and go shower, because by this point I'm cold. And then I come back and I listen to a podcast, or something along that lines, a podcast or my Audible book if I'm listening to a book at that time. And that's when I listen to that while I am sending out my invites. So I write down in my notebook 5 things I want to accomplish for the day. I call it my brain dump. So I write down my 5 things, and then I listen to that personal development while I'm doing that. So that is so by that time, it's not exactly 20 minutes on, so it's not perfect, but that is what I've been doing. And it's literally, you guys, I can tell you that even if you're not a morning person, that you can become a morning person. Everything in life is a mindset, and I have just learned this over and over, and I continue to learn it and see how it applies to every area of my life. And it's the same thing with your morning. It's the same thing with your health and fitness, and it's all together. If you can set aside that time for others, you can set aside that time for yourself. So obviously this has changed, like I said, from last year to this year. I know that in the coming months, when life changes, if we move, if we have kids, whatever, all of that, it will be subject to change. It won't be perfect. It never is, but it's something that as long as I can be consistent with it, I can adapt it, I can modify it, I can roll with it. And like I said, some mornings maybe I have to cut something out or do it on the way to work. I have to listen to my personal development on the way to work, or maybe I have to send out my invites on my lunch break, or whatever it is. But I will never ever it's a non-negotiable for me that I move my body. It's a non-negotiable for me that I enjoy my superfoods, and I do my 3-minute meditation. And I say my affirmations, because those things don't take up a lot of time. And they are the things that really truly fill my cup up before the day gets away from me. I am always my number one priority. And that is the only way that I can assure that I am showing up my best, and that I am giving my best to those that I love and those that deserve the best of me. So I hope that helps, and I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I challenge you to go out and read those books, or if you are struggling with your health and fitness routine, or just in general, you're like me, there's no way in hell that I could have implemented this if I had to leave the house at 5 a.m. So it definitely is not, that's how I make it work for me. So I hope this helped you guys, and I will chat with you later.